Your San Jose Sharks take out Ryan Reynolds' future team. The supposedly new home for Erik Karlsson. No. We're not going to get into all that. But we will get into this victory for the Sharks right now. This is Teal Town After Dark. Good evening, everyone. It is Monday night, November 21st, 2022. The Niners were victorious. The Sharks were victorious. It's a nice night for Bay Area sports, and we welcome you to this edition of Teal Town After Dark. This is your live interaction Sharks postgame. We do this after every game, so if you want to be part of the show, here's how you do it. Chat with us and fellow Sharks fans all over the world in Sharks territory on the YouTube page and on the app. And, of course, follow us on the social, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, SoundCloud, Reddit, Discord, TikTok, and, of course, find everything at tealtownusa.com. And if you want to make a donation to help support the show, of course, you could do it through a YouTube Super Chat or through Venmo at tealtownusa. And with that, I say hello to Mr. Ian Reed.
Hello.
All right. Good night, everyone. That's it
Good
for
night.
us. Sharks, I'll give full credits to them. They did not look pretty after 20 minutes, but a tie. But then it's like they got the message, Ian.
Yeah, they weren't good in the first period, and if it was not for Cam Talbot being absolute ass, this game may have ended a little bit differently. But, the game happened the way it turned out, and Cam Talbot was ass, so good for the Sharks because they won the first period of the lead, and they never really let go.
Yeah, they outshot 13-3 in the opening frame. Of course, it got off to a good start with Noah Gregor getting his first of the year, and not going to lie, Ian, when he hit the post on the breakaway, he's like, "Oh my God, I can't catch a break."
Yeah, Noah Gregor is a guy who I think has been. I think it's one of those things where two things can be true, right? Like, I don't think he's been amazing this year at all. Like, in fact, I think a lot of his games have been kind of forgettable. But I also don't think he's been put in a situation to succeed most of the time. So I'm happy to see him get something. Get on the board the way he did. I like the player. I just think, again, I don't think he's been given opportunity to succeed. And I think, he's got to help himself. So hopefully this is a situation where he's helped himself a little bit and he can turn it into something going forward.
Yeah. And that made it 1-0. And I kind of liked how he waited a little bit to take a shot.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe not rush it too much to get that on the board. Of course, the lead wouldn't last long, especially considering, like we said, Ottawa outshot the Sharks 13-3 in that frame. But of course, Tim Stützle gets his 7th of the season to tie it up at 1. Of course, Stützle, if you're not aware, the Ottawa player that was drafted by the Senators with one of the picks they got from Erik Karlsson. What did you think of this one?
It was a good goal. I mean, obviously, I think it's a little bit of a defensive breakdown. I'm not really mad at Kaapo Kahkonen over the goal. It's a good goal. I think Stützle's a good shooter, and he put that on display here. And again, if not for Cam Talbot, this could have been a very different game to start. But credit to Kaapo Kahkonen, who I thought was just absolutely under siege. But this one beat him, and I'm fine with it.
Yeah, it doesn't help that Magna kind of was like trying not to get out of the way and ends up being a screen for Kaapo.
Yeah, block the shot, get out of the way, but you don't do half of both. Like,
yeah, right.
You're just not doing any favors for a goalie when you
Yeah,
I don't want to say he flamingoed, but yeah,
it's like, what am I supposed to do? Okay,
yeah,
no, maybe not. All right, moving onward into the second frame where somebody in the locker room gave a tongue lashing to this team because the Sharks would then go on to outshoot the Senators 21-8. I think is what they had at the end of the or at the beginning of the third period because they kept changing it. But a nice goal from Timo Meier, a little over a minute in, from a crazy angle, which
Yeah. I and before we get into that too, like I think the Sharks did kind of get it together in the second period, but it wasn't like they had it together the whole time. It took them well into the second period to really kind of get their shit together. Because I remember commenting, I don't know, maybe about 5 minutes, and I'm like, this team's playing with fire, man. Like this, like there's guys on this Ottawa team. I know they're not doing very well this year, but there's guys on this Ottawa team that can hurt you. And some of the opportunities that the Sharks were giving up, especially against a goalie who I don't think has been particularly good for them this year. Again, he was very good tonight, but I don't think he's been particularly good for the Sharks this year. So I think all the recipe was there for a disaster. But, again, the Sharks won, and sometimes things just go your way.
Indeed. And, Kahkonen needed to have a strong outing, in my opinion.
Yeah, and he did. Like, hats off to Kahkonen. Kahkonen was great tonight. He's got to string more of these types of games together,
right? And have his defense help him out a little bit as well.
That too.
37 saves on 38 shots. Stick taps to him, big
save,
time.
Man. Like big game for Kaapo Kahkonen. I'm not trying to take anything away from his performance tonight. It was A++.
Yeah. On the other side, then there's Cam Talbot, who let in that Meier goal, and he'd be gone after that one to make it a 3-1, or excuse me, 3-1. I'm getting ahead of myself here. Meier made it 2-1. Yep. Then Nieto made it 3-1 about 5 minutes into the second period, and that's when DJ Smith said bye-bye, and we waited for Forsberg to put on his goalie outfit and then come out onto the ice to finish it up. In between the two goals, there was the fight between Cicek and Kastelik. What did you think of that potential headshot? As this would be the third Sharks player that would receive contact to the head in over a week's time.
So I didn't really have a problem with the hit on Nico Sturm. Obviously, the outcome's bad, but I don't think it was anything. I think they called it perfectly on the ice. It was a 2-minute penalty. That's it. So I didn't have an issue with the Sturm hit beyond the 2-minute penalty. So I don't know. Like, to me, it's good to see Cicek stick up for himself. I'd have to go back and watch it. I don't think I saw too much into that play either. I don't know. It's weird, right? Because, like, for me, like, it's so rare that because of the service that I use that I get the Sharks feed for things that I guess maybe it's like I don't get the Brett Hedican freaking out because, oh my God, someone hit the Sharks and where's the penalty? Like, I don't hear that. So maybe I'm just kind of numb to the thing. Like, I don't have that, screaming, oh my God, this is the worst hit ever. And that's not my viewing experience. So yeah.
So there was,
but good for Cicek for sticking up for himself, though. Like, obviously, that's something I think you'd want to see more from the Sharks, sticking up for themselves. So I'm happy he stuck up. I'd have to go back and see the hit again. I don't remember thinking too much of it at the time, but I'd have to go back and watch it.
Yeah, there was one angle when I was gifting it for the Teal Town Twitter where it looks okay. That didn't look like much. And then there was another angle that looked like he completely whiffed, but then there was another angle that was like, ooh,
go find it.
That was like a little bit, But either way, I get why Cicek would be upset. But hey, congrats on your first NHL fight.
Right, and obviously, I feel the same thing. Like, obviously, like the Sharks are going to be upset that Sturm went down, right? Like, I get them being upset. I think that's fine. I just didn't think much of the hit. That's all.
All right. So that there was that fight, and then, like we said, the aforementioned Long Beach native. There's the one more for your drinking game for tonight. Matt Nieto, with tipping home a shot of Matt Benning's shot from the point and to make it 3-1. Matt Benning with the pair of assists tonight. Maybe he doesn't. Maybe he isn't too bad.
He's terrible. I all the points he wants. He's fucking terrible. Sorry, I'm trying to find this.
Sorry, I was trying to set you up for that, but a nice tip home from Nieto on that from the Matt Benning shot that made it 3-1. The Sharks would get a power play goal in late in the second period for Logan Couture. Originally had credited the goal here with his 10th, but it ends up getting credit to Tomas Hertl tipping it home. So Hertl picks up his 5th on the power play at 15:56 to make it a 4-1 game. Everybody has tacos. Everybody is going home happy. One of the big things I've always wanted them was to have traffic in front of the net on the power play. And again, this is one of those goals that they've had. And I mean, granted, Sharks aren't exactly the best power play team in the league, but I like how they're getting guys in front to make it tougher on the goaltender when they're relying on a lot of things at the point, especially on the man advantage.
All right, so going back to that hit, that's 100% charging, but beyond that, it would have been bad if he actually caught C-check, but he didn't. So the potential was there for injury, but I don't think he caught enough of C-check to do it. It's definitely charging though.
Yeah.
Charging, boarding, take your pick of 2-minute minor.
Either way, didn't get called in that matter. The Sharks would take a 4-1 lead into the third period, and I think it's nice to have them be in shutdown mode for this one because I think the Sharks got things going, got things at. You want to have finish them off and have the pedal to the metal and just keep going and getting goals, but they had one penalty in the third period. They allowed Ottawa to have 17 shots on goal, so a little bit of sloppiness in the third, but overall, and again, as we said, a solid night for Kaapo Kahkonen for a guy who absolutely needed it. So
I think if the Sharks this is a game where if I'm Quinn, I'm not holding this game up as this is how we need to play to win, right? This is not a game that I would hold up to that standard, but I think but no, again, Kaapo Kahkonen was a real positive tonight. But I feel like if they played like this against a better team, a team that was not having similar struggles that the Sharks are having, I don't think they get away with the game that they played tonight against a better team. So it's definitely not something you want to see going. Obviously, you like the result, but depending on your kink, you like the result. But I don't think they will win too many games if they play the way they did tonight. Because I don't think I was overly impressed with their team play in large stretches of this game. I think there's definitely moments where they got things going and they definitely found the back of the net, which is positive, especially on the power play. Power play hasn't been a particularly bright spot for this team, but it's not an effort that I think will get them a win most nights.
Yeah, Sharky boy, in line for my tacos right now. LOL.
Yeah,
nice.
Absolutely enjoy the tacos for sure.
Heck yeah, that's awesome. A PJ48 saying, I like the instant fight. It's kind of an FU to the refs who missed the call.
Yeah.
For charging. Yeah.
I'm there. I look at it, I can see why C-check was upset, and I'm glad he stuck up for himself.
Yeah, big time. What else? Ricky Barton-Slager, this was a game we needed to lose. Dang it. Yeah, I mean.
Yeah, but, look at the Sharks gave it a good effort. It's Kaapo Kahkonen that screwed it up tonight.
Yeah, damn it! Come on, Kaapo. I mean,
Aaron
Jones.
and then Cam Talbot was Cam Talbot. So,
Jerry, thank you as always for the Venmo donation. Appreciate it. Sorry we don't do the reach around anymore, or the wrap around, or whatever it's called. Oh boy, I'm gonna get in trouble for that one now. Whoops. Appreciate
the
it.
Segment that shall not be named.
Yeah, exactly. Right. But yeah, it got the job done.
Yeah.
Granted, allowing.
Yeah, I think you look at, if you're on Team Tank, like, this is obviously a team that you don't want to pick up points from, based on how they're playing. I still feel like the Senators should be better than they are. I mean, obviously goaltending is a big question mark there. Like, I've never been a big Cam Talbot guy. I think their blue line's a little banged up, and that doesn't help. Obviously, missing Josh Norris hurts, but, like, I don't know. I feel like this team should be better. I wonder if there's going to be a change coming behind that bench sooner than later.
You think so? You think it's pretty much done, knowing that this team should be
I mean,
better?
how many? Here's the problem with the Senators, right? Like, they've been a bottom feeding team for so long. Like, eventually, the rebuild has to end. Like, this is what I always say, right? The problem with rebuilds is they have to end, and it's really easy to sit there and just acquire assets and acquire assets and acquire draft picks and acquire draft picks and just be perennial, like, woohoo, like, our team's gonna sell out their draft party. But, like, at some point, this Senators team has to do something.
Right. Yeah. And they're at 6-11-1. I remember how good Buffalo was early on, and they're right behind them there. At 7-11.
Yeah, and there's another team, same thing, right? Like, at some point, the rebuild has to end, and you have to start moving forward.
Yep. So the Sharks pick up a regulation win. They're up to 7-11-3 at 17 points. They sit sixth in the Pacific. Again, not to get into a wraparound segment, but Vancouver played Vegas tonight, and allowed them to come back. Shocking. Vancouver gives up a lead, and
that Vancouver being as bad as they are was not on my bingo card either.
No, I thought Vancouver would have been a playoff contender, for sure. Maybe
they're a bubble team at least. Yeah, I thought they were a bubble team, but like, they are just putrid.
With Vegas picking up the win there. I mean, the Coyotes picked up a point in the shootout. The Ducks lose again. I mean, is Dallas Eakins on the hot seat?
No, different teams in different positions, right? Like, I think the Ducks, based on what moves they made in the offseason, the Ducks aren't expecting to do anything this year. Whereas the expectations in Ottawa, I think, are different at this point. I think they were expecting this to be their ascent up the rankings, whereas I think the Ducks are in a weird spot. Pat Verbeek, obviously, like, what I keep saying is, like, Pat Verbeek obviously likes this team a lot less than I do, and look at the standings kind of bear it out. He's the NHL GM. I'm just the slapdick on fucking YouTube. So clearly knows what he's talking about, because the Ducks are definitely not as good as I thought. I thought the Ducks would be a little bit better this year, or at least they should be ascending. But, I think the rebuild in Anaheim is going to continue for a while. And I think once they're turning it, like, expected to turn a corner, then Dallas Eakins probably gets let go if he cannot get that team to turn a corner. So I don't know, but I feel like in Ottawa the expectations were different this year, and but again, this is also, keeping that in mind, this is also a team that is about to go through a change in ownership. So, do you want to hand this team off to a new ownership group and be like, oh, by the way, you have to pay that guy X million dollars to not work? That might be a tough sell. So maybe not, but I think, based on the expectations that were there this year, that I think JD Smith's in trouble.
Yeah, no, he doesn't look good there, especially not with the roster that he's got. I love Alex DeBrincat. I thought Claude Giroux was a nice pickup.
Oh, Alex DeBrincat was a hell of a pickup.
Oh my gosh, what a deal!
I like Claude Giroux too. Like, I think that was a nice that was a nice pickup, a nice steady hand to kind of be in that forward group. Losing Josh Norris obviously sucks. Not having Thomas Chabot obviously sucks. Their goaltending was always going to be kind of a nightmare.
Yeah.
You went from Matt Murray to Cam Talbot, pretty lateral move in my opinion.
Oof. Yeah, not the prettiest of it all for the Sens until you get the pretty boy Ryan Reynolds to find his sugar daddy and sugar mama.
Find his sugar daddies and and get that all squared up. I mean, I hope, obviously I hope for their sake that they can work something out, right? Because obviously I think that it's Melnick's daughters, and I believe they're both super young, so they're probably not looking to own a franchise. I can understand them wanting to probably not be on the hook there. And plus, with the rate that NHL franchises are going for now, that's an easy $500 million in your bank account.
Yeah, no, at least 500, if not more, for sure.
Yeah, right. Because every time they expand, right, that kind of set them. That's so the Vegas being 650 million, Senators numbers got to start there. You'd imagine.
No, totally. We getting some comments from the locker room. We'll hit these really quick. I'm really proud of our guys. Great bounce back win. I thought we got better as the game went on. Great job by Kak to keep us in it. We played a smart third period. Happy for us. I'm surprised.
Yeah, I think all that's fair. Like I said, I don't think I wouldn't hold up this game as bulletin board material. Be this is how we got to play to win our next game. But there's definitely some aspects of the game to in this one. I think they did do a decent job of playing through the third period. And half of the second too. I just didn't like how they started.
Yeah, it's if it weren't for the Noah Gregor goal, we'd be really talking about only 3 shots. Really, you let one of the poorest teams just get off to a good start like that. But yeah,
and Lacey in the chat saying Ottawa needs more from some different guys like Pinto and Brassard. And yeah, look at there is some definite problems in that lineup. I'm not disputing that, but I still think that they should be a team that should be on the come up, not just continuing to bottom feed. That's all.
Nick, I want to be Matt Benning-Holden. Yeah. Oh man, and Dylan Gambrell returns to San Jose one more time. There, penalty kill.
I mean, he got the San Jose treatment. He was in the press box.
Special teams, 0-for-2 for the Sens on the power play. Sharks get that one from Hertl to really put things away. Let's be honest here after 2 periods. So, so we'll see how it goes. Quinn was saying we were a little loose early, but the special teams were huge, and we kept it going. A real solid effort. Yes, I would say really solid effort after the first period. I don't think you want to get outshot by 10 shots in the third when you're holding a 3-goal lead. But hey, you shut it down.
Score effects are a thing.
Not true. True. So, so that kind of puts a bow on this one for sure. The Sharks win 5-1 over the Ottawa Senators. They get one more game in before American Thanksgiving, or to quote Jay on Wright, or as Canadians call American Thanksgiving, Thursday. Thank you, Ian. Thank you so much. They get set to take on the surprising Seattle Kraken on Wednesday night, and possibly Martin Jones.
Yeah, it'll be interesting. Martin Jones has definitely been a little hot of late, so it'll be interesting to see how he looks if the Sharks. I'm really curious to see Seattle actually play, because I thought they would be a team that would surprise people this year. Not as much as, I don't think I didn't expect them to be as high as they were, but I definitely thought a lot of people were sleeping on Seattle. So I'm curious to get a chance to actually watch them, because I haven't had a chance to watch a whole lot of other not Sharks, not Barracuda hockey. So I'm looking forward to seeing what it is that they're doing that has made them so much different than last year, considering how they've botched the handling of Shane Wright, in my opinion. Anyway.
Oh God! And then he got sent down to Coachella Valley.
Yeah, for a conditioning stint, because they can't send him to the AHL for real. So they kind of used a little loophole there to get him some games in. But I don't know, man. Like if I'm Seattle, I'm sending him to the World Juniors, and then I'm sending him back to junior.
That's how it should have been. Get him to juniors. Get him to the World Juniors. He should get.
No,
get
you
him
send him to
from-
the World Juniors. Like, you're not, if they don't send him to the World Juniors to play him whatever 3 minutes or whatever the hell they're giving him, like, that's just malpractice.
I mean, I know Sutter was a very limited with Patrick Marleau early on in his career, especially his first season. But this is
There's a difference here.
This is pathetic.
That's a big difference. Like, yes, he was, but he played him. Like, Patrick Marleau got to play.
Right.
Shane Wright is not playing. More often than not, he is not playing. Like, send him to play somewhere.
Yeah. The Kraken are sitting nicely in the number 3 spot in the Pacific.
Yeah, I mean, obviously it's working out for them, but I just think the Shane Wright thing's unfortunate.
Yeah,
but I mean, good for them. Like, again, yeah, like Martin Jones has been really, really good for them. He's got some pretty decent numbers rolling right now. Maybe fortunate that the bet was last year, not this year. But again, it's November.
Gotcha. Yeah, that's true. But we're almost to that spot where a lot of teams kind of have an idea as to where their team is.
Yeah.
Do the Sharks kind of have an idea, or do you think they might be wishful thinking, considering the winning that's been occurring lately? That we officially hit the quarter pole.
I don't know what they think they are. I know what I think they are. I think, like, look at, this is a non-playoff team. Now, am I getting a little nervous that this is going to be a mediocre non-playoff team instead of a really bad non-playoff team? Yeah, that's concerning. But again, I don't know. It's November, so I'm not getting too stressed out about any of this stuff right now.
Yeah. One actual last scoring change. They've taken an assist away from Carlson and given it to Cunnin and Couture on the Hertl power play goal. So Erik Karlsson only with 1 point. How dare he?
Yeah, I mean, fuck. What a douchebag.
Oh, really? The F stat of the evening, the St. Louis Blues are the first team in NHL history to lose 8 games in a row and then win 7 games in a row after that. DAF.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I don't know. The Blues are weird.
What a crazy.
This is the Blues team that, if you remember, when they won the Stanley Cup, they were the last team in the league. I think by Christmas they were dead last, and then they came back all the way to win the Stanley Cup. So that team has done weird things before. Maybe they'll do them again. I don't know.
Someone has hit the jukebox for Laura Branigan again. So.
Maybe. I don't know what's going on there.
And we'll finish up with, per Shalana Goldman, Kahkonen has some strong opinions about the music that is played in the dressing room after a win. And as someone with incredibly strong music opinions, I definitely appreciate this. All right. So obviously not Sandstorm was being played in the dressing room after the game. Shalana, I love you, my dear. I know we go with Sandstorm, but love you so much. Let's get out of here on that. So in case you missed anything or you want to watch this again, check us out on tealtownusa.com or your favorite podcatcher, whether it's Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, YouTube, SoundCloud, Spotify, TuneIn, iHeartRadio, Odyssey, and of course always available at tealtownusa.com. And of course, please, if you haven't already, click like for this video. We're at 12. Let's get some more people.
Yeah.
And of course, hit that subscribe button. Of course, get that notification going with hitting that bell, so that way you know exactly when we jump on after the game, especially with one against Wednesday, as you're prepping your pumpkin pie. Sharks and Kraken, that's a 7 p.m. start up in the Pacific Northwest. I'm bummed that I'm not able to go. I think that was a great rink to go to, so I'm quite bummed that they're only going there one time. So we'll be back for that. Ian, your final thoughts before we head on out.
When the Sharks do good, it's good. Unless you want them to do bad, then I guess it's not good. I don't know. I thought, like, again, when the Sharks do good, it's good. They won. It's nice to watch them win games because the draft isn't until May.
And to win them decisively, I think is a nice one. Like we've always said, if they're entertaining us, that's a victory in our books for sure. He's at Ian Blogs Hockey on the Twitter machine. I'm at Puckeye14 on the Twitter, the Instagram. Again, Wednesday night following Sharks and Kraken. That's when we'll be back here as we prep for another night of, is Martin Jones good or not? We will see for that. So with that,
he's good right now.
But
I think we can concede he's good right now, but like I'm so glad I'm not on social media enough anymore. But like I am not looking forward to the like just the absolute revisionist. Well, he's good now, like, yeah, but like where was that Martin Jones for the past?
Yeah, no, exactly. So after the cup run, it just so we are out of here. Thanks so much for watching. Check out all of our other content, including last night's Pucknologist. It seems weird that we're on a Monday.
Yeah.
So, but
yeah. Also, So actually, it's cool because after not only will we get to talk about, because I am on that Wednesday night, and not only will we get to talk about the Sharks versus the Kraken, but we'll also get to talk about the San Jose Barracuda. They also play the Reign at the same time, which is always fun for me.
Oh, you and me both. All right, we're on tag team gift duty. Just to confuse our timeline for sure. and hey, congrats, Thomas Bordeleau. Nice hat trick yesterday against Tucson. So
yeah, Barracuda playing better of late. Actually, I'll hit the Barracuda really quick here before we go. Barracuda playing a little bit better of late. The last 3 games they won 2 of 3. They're even the game they lost, like everything started really well before it completely, like, don't get me wrong, it went off the rails and it was an absolute disaster, but like it got off to such a good start. Like the Barracuda, they got up by like 3 quick goals, like everything that you kind of want to see. You want to see the power play get going, power play goals. You want Eklund to get some counting stats, Eklund had some counting stats, and then there was just like penalty troubles. Like I think between the two teams there was like 60 something penalty minutes, and San Jose had 44 of them, and just like penalty filled second period, and then the wheels completely fell off, and then the Roadrunners scored like 6 goals unanswered. 2 of them were on an empty net, but 6 goals unanswered. But then the night after, like you said, Thomas Bordeleau got a hat trick, and they played a really good game. Like they had a really good bounce back game, and Eklund's starting to get points as well. I think he has 9 points on the season now. The rookies have done a really, really good job of really stepping up for the offense. This Barracuda team has had trouble with offense. They're one of the lowest scoring teams in the American Hockey League, but the guys that you really want to see putting up the points for the most part are putting up the points. I think I'd like to see a little bit more from like Daniel Gushtin, but aside from that, like your Bortolo seems like he's heating back up again. Eklund's starting to put up points. So I mean, there's some good things happening, and the goaltending for the most part has been good. Strauss-Mann on Wednesday had a shutout, and then Eetu Mäkiniemi had one last night. So good times.
Good times indeed. Come on, Barracuda. We want some playoff hockey in April.
Yes, we would like that, please.
Of all teams, you're the one that's going to have to bank on it for us. So be on the lookout for that. So yeah, we will be double dipping in the After Dark. Sharks and Cuda. Check us out on that one. And until then, thanks for watching. Make sure you subscribe and keep it real. Keep it teal. Keep it real teal. Have a great night, everyone. We'll see you Wednesday night following Sharks and Kraken and Barracuda and Rain. Have a good night, everyone. I should probably, about to end without doing the